I can't keep doing this.
So, we just saw Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds about the very popular comic book character. So, what did you guys think?
Loved it.
What would you think, Pop?
I couldn't love this movie. Okay, well, I know that it's a satire. It starts off pretty well because it's basically a satire on the superhero movie formula.
Basically.
So it starts off all right, but as it goes on, the way that this guy he breaks the fourth wall all the time to like point out like what's going to happen in this part because of what happens in every other superhero
Somehow
movie.
I think most of the comments that this video is going to get is going to be devoted entirely to the fact that that's his character. That's what he does.
Yeah. But it gets so redundant that I
want to say about that. He actually doesn't do it as much as people think he does. I've read a bunch of Deadpool comic books. He actually doesn't break the fourth wall as a lot. He mostly, the ones where he mostly does are like silly ones, like Deadpool versus the X-Force. He did a lot on that one. Not so much. And Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, of course, because that was the whole thing, was that he was self-aware. But and a lot of and most of his sillier ones, he'll break the fourth wall. Most of his more streamlined story ones, he doesn't break it as much. I mean, he still does, but he'll do something like, oh man, this happened in this one issue, or he'll be like, play this one song would be perfect for this one scene. Like he did that a couple times in one of the ones I read. But he doesn't break the fourth wall as much as most people do. But I think it works especially for the video game he had and this movie, because he got a movie, so it's like, oh well, I have a movie now, and something like that. And also I think it kind of works for the movie. But you keep going. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up.
It starts off okay, like I said, but it gets so redundant that I was able to predict what joke he was going to make next. I knew that the after credit scene was going to be him going something like, yeah, you were expecting Sam Jackson to appear with an eye patch, weren't you?
The one thing I did kind of suspect that, but
yeah.
I didn't. But the thing I did not kind of get was the Ferris Bueller thing. I'm not going to say what it is, but he did kind of a Ferris Bueller thing, and I thought that was great. Because I did not, and then he did a couple things, and it was great. I thought it was. And I did think he did do a kind of thing where he kind of mentioned what was going to happen in the sequel. That was kind of cute. And I like that they made a lot of jokes about the budget, because they did not have. I don't think they had a huge budget for this film, so they could.
Well, yeah, it's evident that they didn't. The effects don't look that good.
Was Colossus. I didn't like. Well, I liked Colossus better. I thought he was much better than the original guy. The original guy was just kind of put the metal suit on, boring. This guy was a bit more interesting. Just they got this one actor who I know from, who was in a bunch of. He's been in Vampire Academy. He's also going to be in Hardcore Henry. We'll talk about the trailer for that later.
Yeah.
But and then they just kind of got they just got him to kind of be, I guess, the Colossus suit guy, and then they got a different voice for Colossus, which I thought was kind of. I thought, but I couldn't give the actor a try or something like that. That was my only sort of problem with this movie. Everything else I thought was great. I thought this movie was funny, and I thought the action scenes were great. Sure, there was a little shakiness. There was parts where I was like, what's going on there? But for the most part, it wasn't it isn't. Especially because I actually prefer shaky cam to the stuff they've been doing lately, the quick edits thing they've been doing a lot lately. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies did that, and that was annoying. And they did not do that in this, thank God, and it was much better for it. It's just, and this is also, I like that this is actually from a first-time director, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah?
And also another thing too, Ryan Reynolds embraced being Deadpool and being in that suit. Sure, there were a lot of moments where he wasn't wearing it, but that was all right. I thought it was fine, but it just, I felt that I'm glad that he embraced wearing that suit, and he did like I said, he did seem like he was having fun being Deadpool. And I love, even when he's beating people up, he's still quipping and stuff. He's like, punched you in the face or something. That was great.
Yeah, that could be funny. I mean, just how laid back he is in just about every situation.
I like they gave him another chance.
Yeah. Well, they only gave him a second chance because of the test footage, because it leaked online and everyone loved it. So like, okay, we'll give Deadpool another shot, and I think it's gonna pay off because I saw this movie yesterday, and then I saw it here with you today, and both times the theater was packed. So I'm pretty sure this movie's gonna do very well.
I should mention that when we were in How to Be Single, I happened to look around and there was barely anyone.
And then we come into this.
And we come into Deadpool, and it.
And I also think it's funny too that I sat in the exact same auditorium I saw it in yesterday, and in even the same row. Because it was so packed, we had to sit in the same spot I sat in yesterday. It's crazy. It's just like, wow.
I haven't laughed at.
Well, it is a Marvel movie,
so
you can expect that they're gonna go to that over How to Be Single.
But,
and at least the Marvel logo showed up on schedule in this movie, unlike Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man.
Yeah, well, then again, this is from a different company.
True.
Oh yeah,
this is not from.
Yeah, that's right. It's Fox.
They had the fight.
And this is better than Fan4Stick. I'll say that.
One thing that was kind of weird was they introduced Bob at the end of this. Near the end, they introduced Bob. He's one of Deadpool's friends, but his full name is Bob of Hydra. There's no Hydra, so what is he going to be Bob of? It's just gonna kind of confuse
That's
me.
true. Unless Deadpool decides, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm going to the MCU. See ya.
I thought, what is it? I thought, what's his name was really good. T.J. Miller as Weasel. I thought he was really good. I also like that they brought the old blind lady who lives with Deadpool. Like I was surprised they brought her in. I thought they weren't gonna. Except I don't think she was black in the comics. I don't remember. I have some of the comics that she's in, and I think I could reread them and see. But yeah, I like for like Deadpool's very first solo comic. He's actually not in it very much, so it's good to see a movie where he's very prevalent because in his very first solo comic, he was barely in it. It was mostly about some of these other mutants. It was kind of weird.
I have to say I haven't laughed that hard in ages. There was one point where he's beating Uncle. He's trying to push, and I was just laughing so hard I could feel.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I love.
Oh my god!
I loved how
head. I
don't want to bring up Colossus again. I really even though I had those little problems, I loved Colossus in this movie. He was, like I said, he wasn't because I did not like the original Colossus from the
he was kind of just boring.
You know, he was just kind of boring. He was just kind of the guy who kind of made himself metal occasionally. I thought that was kind of lame, but I liked, even though he did get more to do in the third one. But I'm glad that they changed him and they made him more like the Colossus from the. I love Colossus is great. Like he's perfect Colossus, and I even like the little girl. What's her name?
Ripley from Alien 3.
Yeah, just call her that. Yeah, she was great. And I also love the opening credit sequence. This probably has one of the greatest opening credit sequences ever. I'm not going to say what happens because just watch the movie and you'll know what it is. But but I'm glad because this is this is probably the most fun I've had of any movie this year so far.
Definitely.
Though I did really like Kung Fu Panda 3.
I have not seen Kung Fu Panda 3.
But that was really good too. Especially because the most comedies that have been coming out have just been kind of mediocre. Like we saw the one we saw wasn't that, we just saw another one that wasn't that great. Dirty Grandpa was for the most part meh. This one I even like the love story in this too. Is nice. I like because Deadpool is he is romantic. Like if you read the comics, like when he does have love interests and he does he is really good with them. He's not. Sure. And I did but I would have liked them to cover Deadpool because Deadpool. The reason why he's comedic is because he's covering up he's actually a really miserable person in real life. He's really miserable. He uses comedy to kind of cover that up. I would have liked them to maybe explore that a bit more. But for this first movie, it's just for fun. I was fine with it. Also, want to bring up the villains. What do you guys think of the villains? I definitely liked Ed Shirkin much better in this than he was in The Transporter, though. He seemed to actually be having kind of fun as the villain, actually. I kind of liked him. And Gina Carraro, I like her. She's doing, especially because she's doing the quiet hero thing. Even when she's talked, she doesn't bug me. Because as long as she doesn't have, because I think as long as Gina Carraro doesn't have to be a scientist or do a really emotional scene or something, I think she's fine. If she just tries to be, talk a few times and beat people up, I think she'll do great.
Yeah.
She's
Although I
also
have to
Superman's girlfriend, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, Henry Cavill. Well, at least I think they're still dating. But I knew they were dating at one point or whatever. But yeah, I want to see her in more action movies. Actually, when I heard she was up for Wonder Woman, I was actually kind of for that. Kind of, though. Except Wonder Woman probably would have to have some more really emotional stuff. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe, but I would have. If she was up for Wonder Woman, I still would have been okay with it because she would have been a great Wonder Woman.
I have to. Although one of the things that confused me is that early in the movie, they're in a strip. He's walking through a strip joint, and they're just showing all the like topless chicks, and then Colossus fights Angel, and there's that one moment where she slips and they won't show it.
Well, that's probably because the actress didn't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
That because the women who were playing the strippers, that might have been actual strippers. I don't know. I don't think they're probably okay with it because but Gina Carrero probably doesn't want to do that, so
okay,
it's fine.
probably.
It was fine. It was a good joke. It was a fine joke where it was. Colossus had to go. Okay. It was kind of a good distraction to beat him up. And Colossus, and just because we say, like, you see, if everyone's seen that scene where she punches Colossus, don't think Colossus is a punk in this. Colossus is pretty bad. He's a mofo. He's pretty
Oh, yeah.
He still beats they still have a good fist fight. And, and like, even the girl, too, the teenager, I can't pronounce her. She has, like, a really long name. She has some pretty awesome scenes, too. And the one thing that was kind of weird is she kills some people. I'm surprised Colossus didn't go, "Why did you kill them? No!" It's like when Deadpool kills, he's like, "Oh, Deadpool, don't kill." But when she kills somebody, he's just like, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of funny, though, to see Colossus kind of react. I didn't see it. As far as I'm concerned, that did not happen.
I really enjoyed this film. I don't know. What's the next Marvel movies is like Civil War?
Civil War, I think.
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that one looks really good. But,
all right.
Okay, so is there anything else that you didn't like about the film you want to talk about?
Well, there were moments of fun, there were moments of comedic satire, but were the comics really this unpleasant?
What do you mean unpleasant?
Having not actually read
just
the comics, I have nowhere to stand on.
I've read a lot of the comics, so okay. So say what you're gonna say. It's alright.
I mean, I get Deadpool's character. He's not really a superhero, and he's really just kind of a psychopath. And I kind of liked that, but
it's different.
Yeah, it's different. But this, I really don't feel like this needed to be R, or at least not this hard of an R.
I think it definitely, especially for Deadpool's character, though it's not. I don't think there's actually that much gore and stuff in the actual Deadpool comics. There isn't, like, it isn't. They're not. It's more cartoony in a way in the comics, and they did capture that for the most part. Like, I think one of my favorite scenes is definitely where Deadpool's doing a back take. That was good. That was very cartoonish. that was very, like, there was some very cool. I felt even, like, of course, the end credits where there was like cartoony,
like, I know that
drawings and stuff like that well, and I thought there was some
cool. Cartoony moment I did like was when he got on that he's lying flat on that flat piece of metal, something explodes underneath him, and he's just flying like, ah! Okay.
Deadpool's kind of like a cartoon who kind of murders in a way, but he's not. I don't think the comics are as the movie. I think the movie still is kind of doing its own thing but it still captures Deadpool for the most part. His character. But yeah, I don't know. You'd have to read the comics yourself, really. I guess. I'm not really good at explaining it as well as I don't know. But what did you gonna say, John? Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
The suit,
The suit was great.
Yeah, but I really couldn't tell if it was CG or real.
Well, I think the eyes were, but I think the rest, most of it was real. But I'm not. The thing that I'm not sure about was the eyes. One thing. Oh, I forgot to mention another scene. The scene where showing him design a suit. I think that was a parody of the Amazing Spider-Man. Where he's putting his suit. That actually because it reminded me a lot of that. Except much more interesting. Like in Spider-Man, it was kind of weird. Like, especially because I thought you would be more like it would take more time to see how it's designed, I guess. In Amazing Spider-Man, but since this is Deadpool, it's cartoony, it didn't bug me at all. But I thought it was kind of a cute cut because he even kind of wore the same thing because Spider-Man kind of wore a hoodie at first in the movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. So I thought that was kind of and he did too. I thought it was kind of a cute, like, I don't know if it was intentional parody of The Amazing Spider-Man where he was first being Spider-Man. It was definitely the best origin story I've seen in a while. Well, except for, I liked Ant-Man, but that wasn't 100% a origin story because there already was an Ant-Man. But it was definitely, like I said, that it's definitely one of the better origin stories I've seen in a while. I liked it, but this movie, anyways. But yeah, it was funny and. Have we said basically everything about this movie, I guess? Or is there anything else anyone wants to add? Because I don't know, I think I might have said everything.
I think I might have said everything.
I said everything I can say. But
well,
I would
some of the actors that I like too. Like I forgot to mention the girl. I forgot the actress who plays his girlfriend's name, Monica something.
Monica.
She's great. I love her. I love her in everything I've seen her in. She was in like Gotham, Firefly. She's mostly been in TV stuff. Homeland.
Oh, she was
She was what's her name in Gotham? Gordon's girl, Leah Thompson, in Gotham.
Oh,
which is
Firefly. She was
She was the lady, the countess lady. I can't remember her name. But yeah, she's great. I loved her in this. I thought she was great. And it makes
I thought she looked familiar.
It makes even less sense in Homeland when what's his name wants to leave her for Claire Danes. It's like, no, I wouldn't do that. So I was kind of like Deadpool, save her because she's awesome.
Okay, so I think we've said about.
What did anyone like about the romance in this? I didn't give a rip about it at all, especially
I thought it was well done, especially because like I said, I liked that they even handled I thought they handled the comedy and the serious moments well. I thought it was all for me. It was all handled really well. I felt there was never any like point where I was like, Maybe, I mean, the first time I saw this, there was points where I was a little bored, but the second time, since I've already seen it all, I was kind of enjoying it a lot more than I did.
Man, this just made my mouth.
I guess.
My only real.
It does make sense that those two would go together, but the reason for it is still kind of the reason that I couldn't really root for it. Like at the end when he's like, "This is the moment I've all been waiting for." It's like, yeah, you got that right.
But I like the. But yeah, I also like the music by Junkie XL. He's done some great stuff, and I'm really looking forward to see what him and Hans Zimmer do with Batman v Superman together. I want to see what that's going to be like. But they already did work together a little bit on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But he's done some great musical scores, like he did Mad Max last year. The one everyone knows him for that got him kind of noticed was like Paranoia, because that movie was awful, but his music was like one of the higher points of that film. And then after that he got like 300, the second 300 movie, and then like a bunch of other stuff. He's done his music was interesting though. He kept using this one beat I can't really say, and I even liked one. I gotta say one of my favorite jokes has got to be when Deadpool makes a crack at Limp Bizkit, because I do not like Limp Bizkit. So it was like the only thing that did kind of bug me, like the only two things that really bugged me was the stuff that kind of did with Colossus and they played a Chicago song at the end, and I don't like Chicago very much. So that's kind of a little, but that's more of a nitpick to me.
I didn't know that.
Chicago is not very good.
All right, so I kind of dislike the reasons, pretty much for the reasons I was expecting to. I mean, seriously, if I keep going into stuff like this, someone's gonna come and put a sign on my head that says "human landfill." The really crude and gross junk really made this hard for me to sit through. I'm gonna give it a C-.
I think this is mostly coming off right after How to Be Single, which if you watch the previous review, you'll get my feelings. And this movie made sitting through that one worth it. So I'm giving this sucker an A.
No.
Because
two.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Probably one of my favorite critics on YouTube, is Stuckman, and he gave this movie an A+. And Jeremy Johns also gave this his equivalent of an A+, Awesome-tacular.
Yeah.
And when I first saw this, I wasn't like, I'll probably just give this an A, but after seeing it again, and all the parts that kind of I felt a little bored at when I first saw it, I was actually enjoying a lot more in this one. I was actually a bit more enjoying in this one, so I guess I'm gonna have to agree with them and give it an A plus. I really liked it. I didn't really have many problems, and most of them were just small little nitpicks that were fixed easily for me. So for me, it's an A plus. But yeah,
all right, well, this is that film of the year for me. I mean, what Guardians of the
Well, that year it was Guardians, and then last year it was Kingsman.
Yeah.
Which I really love Kingsman, so that's kind of
okay. Well, let's go on to trailers. We got trailers to talk about. Hope we got time. London Has Fallen.
That
looks interesting.
I'll give it a maybe. I'll give it a maybe because it looks. I like the first one, but that one looks a little, especially because the CG looks really fake.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That explosion inside of
my biggest problem though,
the river in the city, that looked like something out of Sharknado.
But I would still use it. I would still see it.
Yeah, probably. It may just be that the CGI might have not been fully completed yet.
Yeah,
okay, let's move on.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just giving the trailer a maybe, especially because that ending, they end it with
maybe.
a really lame shot where they're pulling back with well, not with the shot where he's like, oh my god, but the scene, there's this right after there's like a big action scene. They pull back. The next scene they're playing really intense music. Dun dun dun. And they're just pulling back from Morgan Freeman sitting in a chair. I'm like, what? Like you should show the explosion,
let's come on.
then say, oh my god.
Come on.
Okay, so maybe.
Hardcore Henry.
I want to see it. It looks good.
Kinda
Crazy.
You know, I've actually been wanting to see a movie that's completely from someone's point of view. When I started seeing this, though, at first I was amazed. As it went on, I was kind of like, is this really going to be all that watchable?
It looks great. For you anyway. I probably will get a kick out of it. It'll probably be like Deadpool.
Is that based on anything?
No. Actually, wait. I think it's based on a comic series. I think it's based on like a Russian comic series.
Huh.
But we got. Although I did hear someone mention Deus Ex, and it is.
Well, no, it's supposed to be based on a comic book series, actually. I think it's supposed to be based on it's from a Russian company. But I guess I'll give it... Well, let's see. I give it maybe a... I think I'll give it a maybe for now, because it looks a little crazy. It looks a little nuts. I want to wait until I hear if people have to say it's interesting or whatever.
So,
I might do maybe, too. Next one is Suicide Squad.
Yes.
It looks amazing.
It looks
fun. Yeah, it does.
Looks enjoyable. And, like, a lot of people... Like, I remember every time I see, like, a reaction... on this trailer, everyone's like, what? Because they see all this like stuff, because there's all this thing. If you look at the trailer, there's like where all this weird stuff's happening. There's like everything, like all this goo and all this weird stuff. Everyone's like, oh my god, aliens are in the movie. No, it's Enchantress's powers, because Enchantress is the real villain. Everyone thinks it's the Joker. It's not. I mean, he might start out that way, but there's been a rumor been going around since forever, since Enchantress. But once I saw those reaction videos, everyone keeps pausing it and going back and showing all that. Yeah. It's pretty clear to me that they are going with the Enchantress being the villain thing.
Jared Leto as the Joker is terrifying.
Enchantress. That's a Marvel character, isn't it?
Enchantress is a DC character. I'm not sure if I'm getting her name, but I'm pretty sure it's Enchantress. Yeah, it's Enchantress. She's a DC character. I've read a comic with her in it and stuff. But yeah, it looks good. Though I know most of the characters, but only because I've read people have said what their names are, except for like Killer Croc. I know who Killer Croc is, but and Deadshot and Harley Quinn and stuff. But most like Slipknot, I don't know much about him. I have read some of the Suicide Squad comics, but they're not. It looks pretty true to it. It looks fun. It's definitely better than the first Suicide Squad trailer. I don't know if you guys saw the first one. I know, John, I showed it to you on my phone, but I don't think you saw everything all that great on it. It was all right. The first one was all right. This one is definitely feels more like the Suicide Squad than it really should be, though. Okay, go ahead.
I want to mention how everyone keeps complaining about Harley Quinn's costume, like, oh, she's being a bad influence. She's a serial killer! Yeah. How much of a good influence can she be?
She also has my favorite line in the trailer. It's like, it's what? You say I should kill everyone? Oh, sorry, everybody. The voices. I'm just kidding. That's not what they really said. I just love that line. And the scene. Harley Quinn has like my favorite lines in that whole thing. That and she smashes. What the heck is wrong with you? Also, Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang looks great. He looks like he's having a blast. Like everyone is like, oh, Jai Courtney, I hate him. He's terrible. Oh, Terminator, he was so boring. But I don't think he's that bad. I liked him in Jack Reacher. I thought he was really good in Jack Reacher. and I'm hoping that this one everyone will like him in this one because he looks he's doing great. Though, what's her name who plays the Entrenchers from Paper Towns? I'm a little they don't
Cara
show
Delevingne.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift's best friend or whatever. she's not it.
Are you serious? Is she like Taylor Swift's best friend?
She's one of her friends. Yeah,
Ha!
she's even in her
She
video.
she must be the one who prints out the lyrics in Taylor Swift albums, because in the movie Paper Towns, she thinks she believes in random capitalization. That's how Taylor Swift lyrics are printed out.
Yeah, but yeah, she's friends with Taylor Swift in real life, and she's even in her music video Bad. So yeah, she's
Oh, yeah?
yeah. I haven't actually seen that whole video. I just know she's in it from I've seen screenshots of it, and I saw there she is.
Okay, what else? What else?
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the one thing about the trailer to Suicide Squad. Of course, I haven't read any of the comics, so I really know nothing about Suicide Squad or even a lot of things that are coming out this year. But my problem with it is the fact that in the trailer they use oldies, and it looks like they're doing that to kind of capitalize on how that was popular in Guardians of the Galaxy, because we're Marvel, we can make them think
What's
that we
funny,
can
too,
use
is that
oldies,
both-
and it'll make them think that we're being clever and we're really not.
Yeah, like I remember Suicide Squad and Hardcore Henry. They both have a song from Queen, and right next to each other. We saw the trailers right next to each other, and they both have a song from Queen. I'm actually okay with that because I'd rather hear most old music. There's some old music I don't like. I'd rather hear old music than most new stuff that's coming out, anyways. Because I don't like because like I just recently saw the DreamWorks trailer for Trolls, and that plays that terrible song. Watch Me do whatever the two dances he does, and I hate that. So like I'd rather hear like I'd rather hear Queen's entire library from every trailer out there than have to listen to that song ever. And then again, it's not even like a song you can really listen to because it's just how are you supposed to watch him dance if you can if you're listening to a song? So it's just like I give Suicide Squad a yes for most part.
Definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Movie I give it yes. What do you think, John? What do you give it?
Yes.
And what do you think?
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes.
Okay.
Or just a maybe. It's fine. Maybe yes.
Leans toward the yes. All right, we got two more. The Purge election year.
I think it looks good, though.
That
it
looks
looks
interesting.
interesting.
Though it's shot. Like I said, it's not everything, of course, but like it is edited. They have been editing. Like they edited it kind of the same as the Purge Anarchy trailer with they played the same music. They even end it with the remember all the good the Purge does, and like it's kind of the same where it's like these characters, something happened, like it keeps escalating and they're running, and then it's playing that song, and then silly because like
all three of the Purge trailers did use the America song.
Yeah.
Kind of like how all three Insidious movies use that sinister version of Tiptoe Through the...
Not the first one. The first one didn't do that.
It didn't?
No, the second one, and the second one just had the original Tiptoe Through the window. The third one was the only one that had the creepy, the creepy girl singing it. The other, the first one didn't, but then because that song became popular off of that movie, they're like, okay, we'll play it in the second one, trailer, and then for the second movie, and then the third one they did it again, just with a cover version of it. Yeah. But I think, it's just that it's I don't know, but. Like, because the thing I've always liked about the Purge movies is always, well, the second, even this was like the main actors. Like in the first one, Lena Headey and Ethan Hawke were great, but everything else was terrible. All the other actors were cheesy or just boring, and then everything else was just kind of dull. And then like the Purge Anarchy, I loved Frank Grillo and his stuff, but everything else was just kind of eh.
Well, Purge Anarchy really made you feel like.
Though there was a great sequence, I liked the sequence where they did go to that one person's house because I thought it would be safe, and then it just kind of went off the rails. That part was good. I liked that part, but most of everything else, like especially when the rich white people, they always hire these really cheesy actors. Time for the Purge, who just ham it up in the worst way, not in a fun way, like I can't think of an actor who just can do it in a good way, but they do it in such a really weird, not very interesting way, and they hire these silly actors who are just cheesy in a bad way, and it just doesn't work for me. But I think the movie looks interesting. I like it that it's an election year thing, and like that they have Raylan's father from Justified. You probably don't know what this Justified is, but there's like this one of the four because the people of the Round Table are like the forefathers or whatever.
Yeah.
They're one of them is played by this one actor I know from the show Justified. I was like, there he is. I like him. So that was something a little to get excited for. But yeah, the movie looks interesting. It looks definitely. I'll give it a shot because Frank Grillo's back, so I'm gonna give that a chance for that. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look pretty interesting, and I'd like to see like.
I'm still gonna give it a maybe though.
Like the main trilogy of the Purge end there, because it looks like it might be the final Purge, because there's this woman running for president who wants to put an end to the Purge. Like the main trilogy could stop there, and then they go back to the very beginning and do a movie
about
on
like
how it all started.
Yeah,
how the new founding fathers came in and stuff.
How?
Which a lot of people always like to complain, like this would never happen. But in a way, the way it's explained, if you actually really look into the story, it could kind of happen because it's like America goes into like this a huge something happens and America gets destroyed. But then these founding fathers come and go, hey, and they fix everything, and then they make this purge night. The other thing I think is kind of, like I said, is of course release the beast. Who in the heck released that? That's not something people would use. Like Christmas, time to release the joy. No one's like, it's just that's kind of silly. It sounds like it sounds like what is it? What's the drink called? The energy drink slogan?
Jägermeister.
Release the beast.
Yeah.
Jägermeister, I don't think is a energy drink. I think Jägermeister is a alcohol. What's Rockstar, release the beast. Now well, even there's like what is it? Role models, the comedy role models, and they have an energy drink, and its quote is "release the beast" or "taste the beast," or I think it was "release the beast," but. It just, but yeah, I give it more of a maybe because I'm still kind of on the fence. Because like I said, Frank Grillo stuff looks, and even the lady who plays the elect looks fine, but everyone else, and there's even some other minor actors I've seen in the trailer look interesting. But there's like everything else, like they're still having the really over the top rich white people thing that they do. It's kind of boring. I mean, I understand that's probably the most people who are going to get joy out of it is like that, but they're still just they always get these actors who are just. Like I said, over the top in the worst way.
Okay.
Right.
But so I give it a maybe. What do you guys give it?
Yes.
Maybe.
All right. Independence Day Resurgence.
Haven't we talked about that one before?
I don't think we did.
Well, I thought we did, but I guess I was wrong.
That looks pretty awesome.
It looks better than the first one, but then again, you got to remember, Roland Emmerich is good at trailers. But then when you see the movie itself, it sucks. So I'm hoping that's one thing I do have to say is I hope that is the only trailer because I'm afraid another trailer might ruin it. Same thing with there was another trailer we saw recently where kind of short. It was kind of a short and sweet trailer that we saw recently. I can't remember what it was called, but where it was just like I think, okay, just make this one trailer. Do not make any more, or you're just gonna mess up everything, and I'm not gonna want to see it. So don't do that, Pete, please. But hopefully they don't. Hopefully this is maybe the only if they're gonna do another trailer, at least do one more. Don't go over the top and do 15 million trailers because like Batman v Superman has like 4 trailers now. They just released their final one, and their third one spoiled a lot of the story. Like it really spoiled like almost the whole plot.
Okay,
awful.
so.
Okay.
So,
I guess I'll give it. You guys can continue talking about it. I'll give it.
Oh, I've got nothing else.
Yeah, I'll say yes. Yeah.
I'll give it a maybe right now.
Yeah.
I really like how the speech from the first movie plays over it, and then it like cuts off right before the very end. Yeah. All right. Well, so next week we have Race and Risen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was that movie with about the guy who what's his name who races for America.
Yeah, the one we also saw right before How to Be Single.
And then there's Risen, the man with the cut lip looking for Jesus. That's all I can think because he has that cut lip. That's all I can think of when I see him. All right. Cut lip. And Draco Malfoy's in it too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Must get you. I'll kill you worse than Harry Potter. Jesus, die.
That's right. Okay. So
he was also in Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, let's move on.
All right.